the name the classic city for a reason, and more I feel like we don't deserve that name anymore.
Hear how Athens-Clarke County is working to maintain its historic roots.
Let them go to debates, let them travel, let them climb mountains.
And let them play chess. Find out how one man is using the game of chess for change.
It sends a message to the community that LGBT people are welcome here.
Find out about a new scholarship, the first of its kind, at the University of Georgia.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady.
Good evening. Welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Caroline Greger. I'm joined by weather reporter Nixon Norman. Nixon, anything on weather today?
Yeah, Caroline. Today definitely looked like it was going to be a gloomy day, but I don't think anyone can complain about a little sunshine in their day.
Absolutely, Nixon. Grady Newsource update. Police need your help identifying these two men. The two are suspects in an armed robbery that happened on October 10th in the Lower Russell Hall parking lot. Descriptions of the suspects were based on the victim's statement and video taken from the area. If you have any information leading to the identification of the suspects, contact the University of Georgia Police Department at 706-542-2200. If you enjoy biking, jogging, or just appreciate getting out of the house and into nature, then you may be interested in attending a public information open house tonight about proposed plans for the extension of the Firefly Trail. Grady Newsource reporter Tara Brawley is live at the Athens-Clarke County Streets and Drainage Division training room, where the meeting will begin at 6. Tara?
Thanks, Caroline. I'm here where the meeting will start in less than an hour. If you don't know what the Firefly Trail is, it's a proposed, partially funded, multi-purpose path that will start in Athens and stretch about 39 miles to Union Point, Georgia. Mike Macy is eager to continue on his daily walk down the Firefly Trail, but first he wants to say hello to some new friends. Every day, he explores for just over a mile, crossing over the North Coney River and continuing into Dudley Park. He follows the trail, which merges with the existing North Coney River Greenway. Usually, his owner, McKenna Cook, accompanies him.
Yeah, we come out every day. We'll go around the whole trail and come up this way too and stuff.
The Firefly Trail currently begins here on East Broad Street, just west of Pottery Street. It provides space for people to walk, bike, or jog. The proposed plan extends the trail from Hancock Road to Moores Grove Road. It will tie into the Firefly Trail currently under construction in Winterville.
I like how we can get out and he'll see other people and stuff, and I don't know. I like how it's just open, everything.
At the meeting, you can hear about proposed plans for the Firefly Trail and see the proposed extension route. If you can't make it to the meeting tonight, don't worry, because there will be another one on Thursday, same time, same place. Back to you, Caroline.
Thanks, Tara. For more information about the project, you can visit their website at fireflytrail.com. Property owners of the western half of downtown Athens may start to see new protections and benefits if the Athens-Clarke County Commission votes to approve a local historic designation for this part of town.
Athens earned the name the classic city for a reason, and more I feel like we don't deserve that name anymore.
Downtown Athens is full of history, but it's already lost some of the buildings that represent that history.
The more of our classic buildings that we allow to be demolished and replaced with things that could be found in any town USA, maybe we'll need to rethink our nickname.
This is why the Athens-Clarke County Historic Preservation Commission voted to confirm the boundaries of a new historic district for the western part of downtown Athens, and the commission will vote in December.
Historic designations are a way to honor and protect historic areas.
Downtown Athens for decades has been split up into eastern and western sides, and they don't share the same protections.
Since the 80s, all of downtown Athens, from Thomas Street up by the Classic Center down to Pulaski Street, down past the 40 Watt, that whole box has been in the National Register, which means it is formally recognized as a historic area.
National designation is more of just a recognition, while local designation provides the actual protection. The eastern part of downtown that is locally designated as a historic district is between North Thomas Street and Lumpkin Street. The western part that the commission votes on for the designation is from Lumpkin Street to Pulaski Street.
That very important side of downtown would have the same protections as the other side.
If passed by the commission, property owners in this part of downtown will see benefits when it comes to taxes.
It really helps our property owners and their tenants because there is a property tax freeze on it.
The Athens-Clarke County Commission votes in December to decide whether this side of downtown will begin to have the protections of a historic district. The University of Georgia is making history with its first endowed LGBT scholarship ever. Grady Newsource reporter Katie Kim tells us how the money will be used.
Well, it's a great day to be a dog.
A great day for Charles Hicks to see the results of a project 4 years in the making.
The law plays such an important role in helping us express our values of equality and dignity of all people.
The Stonewall Equality Scholarship Fund will benefit students who demonstrate leadership in LGBT issues and plan to advance equality throughout their law careers.
It is a way to invest in building legal talent that helps in that broader project.
The scholarship is about more than money. It could give some LGBT students the ability to come out with a sense of security.
There are students at the University of Georgia who choose not to be out because they risk the repercussion of being cut off from their domestic support system. What scholarships like the Stonewall Equality Scholarship do is they relieve LGBT students in particular of that financial burden and allow them to live openly.
Katie Kim, Grady Newsource.
The amount of the scholarship as well as the number of recipients are not yet confirmed. The first recipient of the scholarship will be announced next year. Chess and community is keeping Athens youth in check by giving them a place to play chess and form friendships. Let's hear from Tyler Metcalf how one nonprofit has been keeping kids coming back since 2012.
Lemuel Life LaRoche is a social worker and community organizer who has saw chess as something that can be much more than pieces and pawns.
Oftentimes we hear so much about the poverty in Athens, we hear so much about the gang issues in Athens, and then we ask the question, do Athens have a gang problem or do we have a youth development problem?
Every Monday at Athens-Clarke County Library, kids file in to hone their chess playing skills.
We have open chess play that's open for everyone. To just come in. We have snacks now and just find a person who wants to play and play some games.
On top of chess, this organization seeks to expose kids to other experiences that can be as varied as a queen's moves on a chessboard.
How to debate, learning how to do conflict resolution, learning about what does the local government look like, who are your representatives, who is the mayor, what does he do?
I was interfacing with a lot of kids that were making bad choices. So the whole objective was chess is a game that teaches you to think critically, to think ahead, to plan, to strategize, not just becoming a master or a grandmaster, but how do you apply what you're learning on a chessboard in life.
Planning is something that is very important in life, and Life LaRoche has big plans to change how Athens youth view themselves.
Violence is drugs, is what's being fed to me, then that becomes my reality.
Through chess, LaRoche changes that reality and teaches that life is much more than just a game. But that doesn't mean it can't be fun. Tyler Metcalf, Grady Newsource.
If you want to participate with Chess and Community, they have open play every Monday from 4 to 6 at the Athens Library. Head to chessandcommunity.net to find out about their other volunteer opportunities. Free health services are now available for some local middle and elementary school students and staff. The opening of the new health center in Hillsman Middle School will serve Hillsman and Gaines School students and staff. Athens Piedmont Regional Foundation was awarded $300,000 to build and equip the new doctor's office. It will provide quick services such as flu shots, dental services, immunizations, and much more at no cost. This is the first comprehensive school health center in Northeast Georgia, allowing students to easily receive medical services at school and allowing parents to stay at work. We'll have more when we get back.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I love
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
Textbooks in schools could be a thing of the past, at least in one local classroom. Grady Newsource reporter Ashley Soriano will show you how Oconee County students are learning in 2019.
So you can If robots sound like something of the future, they're closer to home than you think.
In 2019, everything is, as you can see, is technology driven, and the technology is continuing to change.
Angela Harris, a technology integration teacher at Rocky Branch Elementary School in Watkinsville, does more than educate students.
We do a lot of the robotics, which really is that problem solving, critical thinking, and helping them just learn that when you're working with technology, it's not always going to be right the first time, and that's okay.
Not even a decade ago, students were using rulers and textbooks in the classroom. Now they're using laptops and robots to learn.
Students at Rocky Branch Elementary School use this technology to problem solve and use critical thinking.
So 80 years ago, this thing was new in the classroom, that you could discover wonderful new pieces of mathematics because of this thing.
She demonstrated the basics of the robot she uses to teach her students to 200 educators in Pretoria, South Africa. Then it was on to Cape Town to teach another 100.
And it was just the most amazing opportunity, professionally and personally, that I've ever experienced.
Donnie Brooks is the man who made the trip happen. All it took was for the South African native to meet her once.
It was amazing, so amazing that at the end of it all, she said, "Are there any questions?" I said to her, "Do you have a passport?" And she was, just went like this a little bit. And she said, no, she doesn't have a passport. I said, get it ready, you're coming to South Africa.
The mother of two was inspired when she attended her first Georgia Educational Technology Conference a few years ago. And then
I was able to transition to this position where that's kind of my soul. It's what I love. It's my passion.
Harris and Brooks plan to coordinate another trip to South Africa in the future. Coming up in
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
And now, the weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Nixon Norman with your Grady Newsource weather. And today in the weather headlines, I'm going to be bringing you the upcoming forecast for today and tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about some gusty winds and thunderstorms, and I'm going to be ending off with a 5-day forecast. As for tonight, and as I mentioned, those gusty winds, they'll be happening at around 6 p.m. The temperature will be around 68 degrees, but that'll cool down at 9 p.m. and it'll leave us at 59 degrees. Then it will further cool down at midnight at around 54 degrees. So be sure to bring out your blankets, guys. As for tomorrow, we're actually going to do the opposite. It's going to start out cooler, and we're going to end up warmer at the end of the day. At 9 a.m., it's going to be around 50 degrees. At noon, it's going to be raised up to 62 degrees. And at 3 p.m., it's going to raise even higher to 68 degrees. And as for tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to have those low temperatures. In Athens and Atlanta, it's going to be 45 degrees. In Augusta, we're going to have a high low of 49, and in Blairsville, we're going to have a low of 40. As for tomorrow, I'm going to bring you high temperatures. Athens is going to be 70 degrees. Augusta will have that high again with 73, and Blairsville will have the low again with 63. As for the 5-day forecast, as I mentioned, today we're going to be seeing those gusty winds at around 6. And at the end of the week, we're going to have some rain. So, as I said, bring out the blankets for tonight, but bring out your raincoat for this weekend. Our highs will be peaking at somewhere around 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. And our lows are going to be at 8 a.m. My name is Nixon Norman, and this has been your Grady Newsource weather.
I'm Kat Hendrick, and coming up next, we'll be talking about all the UGA sports that are dominating outside of football, as well as breaking down Game 1 of the World Series tonight.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm Kat Hendrick, and we are well into October in Athens, which means that Georgia football is on everybody's minds. But there's plenty of other sports on this campus that dominate in their fields outside of Sanford Stadium every single day. Take a look.
Come to a football game at the University of Georgia and you're met with crowds of 90,000 plus. Go support other UGA teams and the crowds are much smaller, but the star power will blow your mind.
Track and field is one of the oldest sports on UGA's campus, starting just 5 years after the first football game and just 1 year after the first baseball game. And somewhere along the way, they've gotten pretty good at it. In 2018, the women won their first indoor national championship, and the men won their first crown in outdoor. And in 2019, they competed again at the championships and took home 4th place for the Bulldogs.
And Emma Mandarino of the equestrian team was just recognized as a top 30 finalist for the NCAA Women of the Year award. In 2018, she and her team secured the program's 6th national title. Tune in Thursday for 3 more UGA teams raking up the awards. Kat Hendrick, Grady Newsource.
After 162 games, the time has finally come. It's World Series Day, people. The Astros and the Nationals will kick off Game 1 in Houston tonight at 8:08. And if you're a Houstonian, you're probably feeling pretty great going into tonight, and for good reason. The Astros opened as the heaviest World Series favorites since 2007 when the Red Sox opened at plus 240 over the Rockies and swept them in the first 4 games of the series. As of right now, the money line for Houston is sitting pretty at about minus 175, depending on who you ask. And pitcher Garrett Cole is on arguably the hottest streak of his career. He led the entire MLB in strikeouts with 326 for the season and has an ERA of just 1.59 in his last 25 starts, and a .40 this postseason. But baseball has this beautiful thing called a wild card. And as a lover of Hail Marys and walk-off grand slams, I know there's nothing a true sports fan loves more than an underdog upset, unless you're a Georgia fan during the USC game, and then that's a different story. But there's a reason why it's called the wild card. 162 games across 7 months is a long window of time, during which most teams are good, bad, and even ugly at some point, evident in Washington's 19-31 start. But what really counts is how you finish the season, and the Nats are on a roll thanks to this guy, starting pitcher Max Scherzer. The 3-time Cy Young winner is coming off a 1-hit, 11-strikeout beauty against the Cards in Game 2 of the National League Series. This year is the very first time that the Nationals have ever been to a World Series, but they're coming off of a 6-day break. Tune into Fox tonight at 8 to see if the time off will help them or hurt them. Kat Hendrick, Grady Newsource.
Hello. Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again? Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flower. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again? I'm here to bring you your 3rd course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign. Those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
That's it for now. But before we go, Nixon, you mentioned that the temperatures were going to keep cooling off, and that's had you on a special assignment today, right?
Yes, it has. I spent the afternoon at the animal shelter today, and that's where I learned that there are some things you can do to help your pets out as the weather keeps cooling down. I'll have that story ready for you this Thursday.
And I'm looking forward to it. I've got to keep my dog safe.
Yeah, me too. I love that little guy.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's evening news. I'm Caroline Greger.
And I'm Nixon Norman.
If you'd like a recap of today's stories or anything you missed, please go to GradyNewsource.com for more.
Production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Is your family in need of more quality time together?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Nature is best enjoyed together. So bring the whole family to discover all the bonding and stress-reducing benefits parks and forests have to offer. Visit discovertheforest.org and trade in phone time for family time.
Birds, squirrels, chipmunks, grass, worms, bugs, trees, rocks, and other objects in nature cannot talk. If you'd like to have a conversation while visiting nature, you will need to bring humans along. We strongly recommend starting with your family.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
It used to be a long
Welcome to our Tuesday night post show. So today we had the smoothest A block we've ever had broadcast, I will say. So let's get some congratulations for Sam, our director today.
It's the Oscars.
So it was.
It's the Oscars. Good job.
It was the smoothest one that we had going out, but preparing for it was a little bit hectic, so just another reminder to make sure that you have enough time to prepare your stuff before you go down to the studio, and that's all I'm going to say on that subject. Let's see here. Basically, package deadline, everything but one package was in there. Pre-show, great communication, letting us know about extra stuff at the smartboard we were going to record, coordinating and making sure that we had enough time to do that, and as well as sports and coordinating with the rest of our recording schedule. Great use of the smartboard, and I really don't have anything else to say today. Sam, do you have anything else you want to say?
I just want to say really good job. I'm literally impressed by everything today, which is like never happened with the show. You guys killed it. You were great. All of your content, the producing. Kat, I was telling you, best sports I've seen. You lost me. I hate sports, but like, good job. Your reader, I was interested the whole time, so like, that's good. You can tell Cantrell that.
With what, the story you did on the Equal Rights Amendment in sports?
All right. That's it. That's all I got. Have a good post show, everybody.
All right, so let's hear from our producer, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for today's show. I think we did pretty good, given the kind of last-minute effort that we had to put into it. I really like how the show came out. I like that everyone just came and pursued their stories, and we got it done. I have a few notes here. Let's see. I'll start with just Tyler. I know he's not here, but I liked his package how it came out. I liked the motivational aspect of it. Just a little bit of audio issues there. Caroline, you did great with your package, and you really just did the little thing that I liked about the anchoring, where you were able to switch from cameras and everything like that. I think that just created a smooth transition that I'd like to see on TV. Ashley, I really liked your package as well. One thing I will say, and it's more of like a technical issue, and I can help you out with that, but the interview, the frame rate that you had at it was just, it made and I'll show you, but it just made the shot just look kind of like wobbly-ish. I'll show you, but it's just a technical issue. Other than that, really good. Weber, Nixon, I know you had everything to the last minute, and I'm glad that you just tried your best to do everything you can to get that package in. But given the time that you had, you did great. And Kat, I mean, you're always great. You always do great things when you get in front of camera. So I really liked it. The only thing I will say, your package, I liked your stand-up. It was really good. But I feel like you just on a camera for just a little bit longer than I would like to see. If you could have that VO and you could just show me something else to look at, I think that would just make your package a lot better. Katie, great package. I was kind of in the middle of some things, so I didn't get to see all of it, but at the last minute, I did see a little bit of it, and I really liked it. Aaron, good job just hustling through today. I know you, but yeah, great job, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Eric. And Alex,
yes.
Let's hear about digital.
I wrote some notes. Okay, so digital. 6 stories from the class have been pushed to digital, 5 on Instagram and 1 on Twitter. Throughout the course of the day, we had 2 followers on Instagram, which I thought was so cool. And I think that's because of, yeah, we got 2 followers on Instagram, and I think that's because of like the constant posting throughout the day. And we got an interaction with Tyler's story, which I thought was really cool. We got a comment, and usually, like, I was looking through the recent ones, and we usually don't get comments on Instagram, so that was a plus on his story about the community in chess. We're still with the 3 digital reporters, Ashley, Tyler, and Francisco. With Francisco's stories, we're going to wait until Thursday. We talked a little bit about that because the story is still in the process of developing. Tips moving forward. So I just like tips in general. I thought this was really good from Tara. I just, whenever you think of digital stuff, like to post, always think of things you would retweet and like, and I think she did a really good job with this footage of the dog. Yeah, it had 363 impressions, like the times people saw that tweet, and 13 engagements from that tweet alone, which meant they clicked on the link to get to our page. So, yeah, good job, everyone.
Thank you, Alex. And thank you for being really consistent and persistent today. I appreciated it. Okay, so let's hear from Tasia, our content manager today.
I really don't have much to say because today was a light day, but good job to everybody, I guess. Tara's not here, but she had really great video in her package, and she did really good on her live shot, so yeah, kudos to her. Everybody else did really good, so yeah, just keep up the good work.
Okie dokie. My goodness, what a mutual admiration society. Let's do something about that. Mr. Smay, will you join me up here? So, as you know, Aaron had an interesting day, a difficult day, but like the rest of you, committed to the team, and he is here. Will you mic yourself up, please, sir? And what I asked him to do, what are the things that happens when you're involved with something? Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. When you're involved with something, whatever it is, you tend to give people a pass. You know, I would submit to you that if these leaders had not been leading you today and had just come in at the end, they would have been perhaps a little more demanding of your performance. It's not to say that all the good things they said aren't true. They certainly are. So what happens is, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. I've been with y'all so long, I love you anyway, and I'll find excuses for you. So Mr. Smay was out of the mix today. And I asked him, since he came in, if he would please watch the show with an eye toward, he knows nothing about it. He hasn't been involved. He hasn't heard your struggles, been privy to your tears. And I asked him to share with you his thoughts and to be absolutely honest, because I think his feedback, just as a viewer that knows nothing about the stories, can be really valuable to you. So Mr. Smay, come on up here.
Yeah.
Come on up here.
Okay, really
Like,
come up there.
be on camera. Yeah, you're really,
Oh, I'm off. I'm
your
sorry.
information is valuable. So please share your thoughts.
Yeah, so going through the newscast just with a completely objective view, I took a couple notes. First, I wanted to say Alex, she'd called me like 3 or 4 times to like come and get me or try to help. And like that kind of support is like really good leadership. So like, that was just something I noticed. The leadership team was really strong today, it seemed. So moving on to like MMJs and the not stage people, right on time. Tara, you did amazing as always. Like so good. Your video was just on point. Your stand-ups were incredible. You looked really confident in not just your stand-up, but your live shot today, which was really cool. I liked seeing that. Caroline, just I literally put stop. You did a great job with anchoring. You seemed very conversational. There was one time right at the beginning when you and Nixon were like, what's going on with weather today? Or is anything happening with weather today? And I didn't catch the response because I was just thinking, well, duh, something's always happening in weather. But it was a really good opportunity to be conversational, and y'all took it. The tag-in lead-outs were great. I don't know if you were writing those, but the delivery was awesome. I've got to keep my dog safe. The delivery could have been a little more. Yeah, y'all handled it.
Said good evening, or said have a good evening, and then it kept going, so I stopped. Everyone stopped, and then we just kind of sat there. It was terrible.
I think we were all hurting a little bit for both of y'all just sitting there on camera, because, right, we've all been there.
That was the most painful thing.
But y'all handled it well. I mean, right, you continued to smile. You tried to stop, but it was good. Katie, you had such a good intro to your package. It's a great time to be a dog. Or it's a great day to be a dog. I thought that was so good. It got me into your package just immediately. And of course, just really high quality content. Tyler, the sound, I'm assuming that was just getting package in kind of last minute, right? We've all been there. I've been there a lot. I wanted to see more of LaRose. He was a character. He was a really cool guy, it seemed like. I wanted to see more of him. Nixon, your weather, I saw that you were stressed today and really pushing, right? But thank you for staying in and thank you for pushing through. But I just wanted more sauce out of your weather. We know that you're like super upbeat and super bubbly, and I would just want to see that coming out in the weather. And you know, you just looked a little meh.
Those 3 minutes are long.
They're hard. I know they are.
So I was talking like this.
And that was the 2-minute weather.
Was it?
Oh, man.
And then final thing was just, Kat, you did a great job. You're animated, you're engaging. As someone who doesn't like sports, I found that I was interested in learning about sports because you were conversational about it, and it just seemed very casual. I liked it. I will echo, someone said it up here, you were on camera for a little bit, but like, I liked how you were at the practice stadium instead of Sanford Stadium. That was, right, because like we know, and it was just a good change of pace. So it was a good job on that, but that's kind of all I had. So.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you taking the time. And I appreciate you coming back here, because you certainly didn't have to, and it's been a difficult day for you. So thank you for that, because you still had something to offer.
Thank you.
All righty, so we know what we're going to work on this week, right? Some of the things that you guys did really well today, you know, I had a chance to work with most of you individually on your story, because you're not getting them in at, you know, like 10 till, and it's like, well, you know, we'll just keep you out of court, and that's the best we can do. So it's a lot more fun because you guys are starting to storytell. And is everything okay up here? Oh, okay, just tearing up equipment. I see nothing. So we got a chance today to work with you guys more on storytelling. And so here's what I'm discerning. The biggest challenge that I had today in terms of storytelling was that was still what you shoot out in the field. So I want you guys Thursday and next week to pay attention to your shooting in the field, okay? Really think wide, really think medium, and really get those tight shots. Sarah, I loved your story about Miles the dog, you know, and it really was, she had all the information there, and we just kind of massaged things around, and all of a sudden we had a story with people and a character that we even cared about. And it was funny in listening, even the young lady referred to her dog. She said he sees people, like he meets people. And I went, oh my gosh, okay, he's people pup. But we could have benefited from more video of Miles, sniffing trees or doing what dogs do. And so if you'll think about that, be intentional about what you shoot. When you interview someone, you guys had amazing interviews, and you're getting better at not having them be quite so long because you're getting more confidence about what you write. You're understanding your stories and doing a really good job with that. But be intentional. If you're going to shoot an interview with someone, then know this person's important to the story. He or she is not just some ancillary person to put in there with a bunch of information because we're not sure about the story ourselves, so we just let them talk. These are real people. Remember information and remember impact. You guys did a nice job today with impact. And so if you'll write and shoot, if you'll shoot the video so that you can make your people into the characters, and I don't mean that in a dismissive sense, I mean into relatable people with real lives, because they are that, your stories will be much more engaging. Okay? So let's really work on that. You're already, 85% of the way there, and today I found myself just saying, hey, you already have it, just move this here. So you're already there with it. It's just that last, push over the finish line. So really work on what you're shooting. Be intentional. If I'm shooting an interview with somebody, I'm going to make sure I've got some wide, medium, tight of what they're doing. If I'm shooting someone at the humane, at a shelter, I'm going to shoot wide, medium, tight of them doing their thing. Let's see. What else? I feel like you guys have really addressed everything. I would challenge you now. Let's get back into some really good stand-ups that illustrate and demonstrate. And when you shoot those stand-ups, it's time for you guys to pay as much attention to making yourselves look good as you do your subjects. Use a light. Use a mic. Don't make yourself, it feels noble to make yourself like the last priority. I get that. And to some degree, that's as it should be. You're not the stars of the show. Your people are. The story's the star. But at the end of the day, you do have to recognize that in a visual medium, whether it's on air or whether it's online or whether it's, mobile, people pay attention to the people who deliver. And if your sound isn't right and if your lighting isn't right, then you become a distraction. And you don't want to do that. So it's okay to have a little bit of ego and pay attention to yourself so that you edify and elucidate and not distract. Make sense to everybody? Okay, so I want to go around the room, and I want you guys to tell me what you are going to work on next week. Where and how do you want to be better? Nixon, I'm going to start with you.
One thing going off what you just said. I'm going to start checking out a light. It is one more bag to carry, but it is so much. I do keep things, I'll say this, I keep things well lit, but sometimes I find myself being like, if I just had a light. And then the other thing is, today it was a really big time thing on my part, but that was kind of also because the interview was late. I'm not going to make excuses, but that's something that is always needed to be worked on for me. So, we've talked about this throughout the semester, backtracking time. And I was able to edit in the car on the way here. I wasn't driving. I had a Lyft person doing it. But, you're right. But there's always something else I could do to push that time forward and get things done even earlier. So, yeah, just time, lighting kits. Yeah.
Glad that you have confidence in yourself to try it.
Mhm.
It didn't work out. It gave us some, you know.
To tease for Thursday.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to show it Thursday.
Yeah,
So.
and it'll be better.
Right.
But you know that we're not going to put anything on the edit. We haven't fully vetted it.
Sure.
It's not fair to you guys. But I'm glad that you tried to. Probably what you learned today was, okay, here's what I can do, and here's probably where I shouldn't push it. Okay. We all, most of us, probably not all of us, most of us find that out the hard way.
Yeah.
And it'll change. There will come a time where you will go, oh, I can do this, at 30.
Mhm.
But we're not quite there yet.
It was kind of like I already had planned to go to the interview, and then I realized it was 30 minutes away. So that was my real.
So what's
thing.
the learning out of that?
So I knew I knew what I was going to. I knew I was going to the animal shelter. I just didn't know how far away
Everything
it was.
seems, this is a business of seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed. And because it is, guys, we're trained. Our headspace becomes trained to, there's so much you can do in 1 second. Why, there's a huge story that I can tell that can change a life in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We know this. We know the power of seconds. And a minute, oh my goodness, a minute 30, I've got a docudrama. We know what to do with time. We do. So now here's where it bites us. Yeah, it's out in Watkinsville, but I can get there really, it'll be 10 there, 10 back. And that's not. And you guys do have a benefit with your apps. They'll tell you how far, and they'll tell you how long.
And it told me I would get back at 4:10 today, and I did.
You got back at 4:06. I watched. So, hey, it was 4 minutes.
But then as I'm editing, I look up each time, and it's 10 minutes has gone past, 10 minutes has gone past. So it's really just time.
So let's talk about a tool with that. One of the things, and you may have done this, but when you're going to shoot, and especially if you're shooting late, remember what I said about be intentional?
Mm-hmm.
I feel, now I watched part of your story, I feel like a lot of time was spent on the stand-up, which was interesting.
Sure.
But I feel like a lot of the time was spent there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate? Or
I would say, because I take a few takes for each stand-up, I would say each of them was maybe like 3 minutes, because I had 3 separate kind of like innuendos to my thing. So maybe like a total of 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's not awful.
My main thing was because I was all the way out in kind of the boonies, my main thing was waiting for a Lyft driver to get to me to then take me back. I had to wait 19 minutes after placing my order to get there. So maybe next time if I'm out in a place where it's more rural, I should order my Lyft a little bit before I'm done so I don't have to wait 20 minutes for them to come out to me.
Boy,
to
there's
take
a
me
new
back.
dynamic, yeah.
So that's what it was.
There's new dynamic.
Really.
Okay, so now we've learned that we have to take into account everything that can go wrong in that arena.
Right.
So, okay, now let's talk about this. So you're waiting 19 minutes, you think the Lyft is
editing.
coming. Were you editing?
Yes.
Okay.
In the shelter.
Might you have sent a script over
Yeah.
that I could have proofed beforehand?
Yep.
That would have been helpful. The other thing is, how many bytes are you using in that package?
I have her talking 2 times, maybe for like 7 to 10 seconds each.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Her interview ended up being about 5 minutes. It was really transportation, and that just boils down to me just not having a car, which does suck, if I can say that online or whatever we're on. But yeah.
Well, we will.
But it still kind of boils down to planning on my part.
But that's a good learning. I think we all
Yeah.
learned something about a Lyft. We might have to wait 19
Yeah.
minutes. Okay. All right. If you'll pass the mic on down. So what are you going to work on? What's something that you really want to work on?
Something that I kind of dove into today that I want to continue to work on is finding different ways to tell the story, because I had tons of B-roll I could have used today, but like I liked how I did the Google Map thing. I thought that was cool. And then I liked using the smartboard instead of my stand-up, because my stand-up, even after I took it, I was like, it's boring because all I'm doing is repeating what they say in a different way. But yeah, just finding those different ways other than your B-roll to tell a story. It's fun. It's interesting. Makes it more.
So let me add something to that. I think that is a very worthwhile goal. Push the envelope a little bit with your own involvement. One of the things that I would challenge you all to do that could work and could help you with that. A lot of you are used to using your cell phone to tell stories on Instagram TV. And that doesn't feel uncomfortable at all, does it? But why does it also always get uncomfortable when you've got a different camera? What makes it get weird? What is that? What makes it get weird? Is it your psyche about television versus this that I know and love and have grown up with? I'm seriously asking the question.
Yes, it's just, it seems more serious than a phone.
Okay. All right. So can we not consider it that way? Think about as you try to make these stories different, and as you try to not insert yourself, but use yourself as part of a storytelling tool, and a credible one that can illustrate and demonstrate, think that you're doing it here. And what you will likely, you have a greater opportunity to create television or video that's worth watching on any and all platforms. Try that, okay? All right, Francisco.
I need to work on my stand-ups.
You were working on those 2 weeks ago. What else you got?
That's the main thing, just my presence.
Okay.
On camera.
Okay. All right. And how might you do that?
Just practice.
All right. One thing that Erin said about Caroline today, about how good her presentation was. One of the things that I said in the control room to somebody, I can't remember who, is that the writing was so much better today. Your leads were so much better that you made her look good. Really, I mean, you did a good job. But anchors are only if the words are clumsy, the anchors looks clumsy. You guys, it was really natural. She seemed natural because the writing was natural. I don't know who wrote that goofy line about, "Hey, keep my puppy safe." Oh wait, that might have been me. Anyway, you know, the only bad line in the show. So what is this? Anyway, hey, everybody bats 1,000. Okay, Ashley.
I'm always scooped. Francis scooped me on that one.
What?
Yeah, so I want to work on my stand-ups as well. I don't do enough of them. I think as a writer, naturally, I feel like I'm supposed to take myself out of the story. And then also in advance thinking creatively, how can I do a stand-up? Like Kat is so creative, she wants to go and practice with somebody. Well, with the drag show thing, maybe I could do something with makeup. I don't know. So just thinking of, you know, creative ways to put myself into the story.
I think that's a good idea. You know, it's funny what you said about the drag show. You know, as I'm watching that, I literally said to you, I go, look at those cheekbones. And you said, I said, these cheekbones really light. You said, it's an illusion. My next question to you, had I not been proofing a story, was just as a viewer, well, how? Take me behind that illusion. How? So maybe you can take us behind an illusion if that's a story.
Bronzer and it contours and...
Okay, well, maybe not right this minute, but thank you.
Okay.
But thank you. I'm glad you know that. All right. What about you?
Okay, so I'm going to continue piggybacking off of the previous two and say that my camera presence, I think, leaves a little bit more to be desired. And that's just like, it's a matter of confidence and a matter of not doing it enough, I think. Like, it's weird because today when I was out on my live shot, it was like 2 minutes before, and that's when like all the nerves hit me, and all of a sudden I was shaking. The adrenaline was pumping, and I was like so nervous. So I think that just practicing more and going beyond that as well. I think you mentioned earlier my cadence. So like in my voiceovers and my packages, I think I could be a little bit more natural and a little bit better at telling the story than what I am.
I would say don't rush your story. Sometimes I get the sense, you guys, gosh, you work so hard on this, and can it just be over? It's so stressful. My nerves are racked. My adrenaline dump. I'm exhausted. I just want it to be over, and so I'm going to rush my package script in here, and it really doesn't matter. Can I just get it done? Go ahead and enjoy your moments in the sun. You're doing such a wonderful public service. Really own that. Value that. Value the work that you've done on behalf of a public that is better served because you did that work. And own that little minute 30. And you're not trying to own 24 hours. It's a minute 30. You're entitled to that, to give people what they need. Okay? Kat.
I think that the thing that I need to work on is putting the same emphasis on packages as I do on readers, because I like doing those better. And so when I have to back time my day, I think I naturally gravitate towards I'll just ad-lib it. I'll just do it live. I'll just do it in front of the green screen because that's more comfortable for me than getting all the B-roll and putting together a well-made package. And so that's what I want to work on, is making sure that my packages are on the same level as the stuff that I kind of just like pull out because that's what I enjoy doing.
So it doesn't have to be either or. And what you will find is that we all play to our strengths, right? You know, why would I try to swim across the Atlantic when I'm a pilot and I can fly across there and I don't know how to swim? Why would I do that?
That's a good way to put it.
I'm going to play to my muscle that I have. But how much better might my life be if I actually could swim, and then if my plane crashes, okay, now I'm taking this down a road it doesn't, and then I can swim, and then I don't die. Anyway, so bottom line is, how much more powerful is your talent if you have different ways of showcasing it? Because there's a limit to how engaging we can be if we don't use other storytelling tools and visual aids to enhance the understanding of the public. Because people, there was a story I read, I don't know, somewhere, because I can't remember where, because we're inundated with information all the time on multiple platforms, and our attention span is blip, 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 blip. And that means that I don't care how good you are, you've got to figure out another way to re-engage that person with you. I think you'll find that that muscle that you have, that strength and power that you have, and that talent, that if you'll really do what you're talking about doing and say, how might I illustrate this better? I think you'll be really happy with the results and how it will elevate the talent that you have. You'll be happy.
For the record, Cantrell said that I can do sports for the rest of the semester, so if you don't want to do sports, please tell me. Please tell me. I will take over your sports week, okay?
Okay, maybe I did.
She's taking over mine.
Yeah. This is the time in the semester where I have no issue with you guys changing. But I need to know. Don't surprise me, okay? I don't like surprises, not even good ones. Okay, Katie Kim. Other than the whole alarm clock thing, which we can work on that later.
Yeah, I guess because like the stories, I've always been really blessed to have stories that have a lot of action going on. So this was sort of the first time I had a story that was a lot more, it was a lot more information packed, a lot less opportunity for B-roll. So something, Alex really helped me. She was able to pull that. But again, obviously it wasn't exactly tied to my story, and I would have had to write to that if I was going to use that footage. So I think for me, it's just learning how to think creatively in terms of B-roll, no matter how maybe dull the story might seem visually. Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway.
So it's funny that you say that. I think we're all at a point where everything isn't like I'm terrorized. I don't know if I got my facts right. I don't know if I did. We're past that. That's not to say that there still is an opportunity to learn. Of course there is. But I do think that we can be a lot more creative. We tend to think, well, this is the video. Is everybody on their cell phone? Am I that boring? We can just go ahead and cut off the critique now. Oh, really? That was quick. That was a quick save. Well, in that case. I was talking to a former Grady Newsource she graduated 2 years ago, and she calls me up last night. She goes, "Can you take a look at this story and everything?" And I said, "Yeah, here's your issue."
And that's our post show for tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sarah.